start the recording.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We are with Professor Kaithie Ramírez. Our talk about unlocking the power of artificial intelligence. Professor Ramírez holds a BA in bilingual education from Institución Universitaria Colombo, Americana, UNICA. She is a specialist in translation from Universidad del Rosario, and she holds a master in education and technology from the Universitat Oberta de Catalunya. She has been more than 9 years teaching English and technology, has been a teacher trainer, and currently she's part of the board of directors of Asacopy and is the director of innovation at UNICA. Kaithie, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. I know we are going to take lots of ideas and reflections, and we're going to take very good advantage of everything you're going to present today. And the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Universidad Luis Amigo, for inviting me to this time for reflection more than talk. I hope that you can take little keys on how to use this technology that it's like present in many aspects of our lives and more in our teaching practice and with our students, which has been like a challenge for all of us. So I'm going to start. Can you see my screen? I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Well, as Gloria mentioned, I am part of UNICA, Institución Universitaria Colombo Americana, here in Bogota. In case that you want to contact me, you can write either to the first or the second email. I will be very glad to answer any questions you may have or any inquiry that appears or shows up after this talk. Okay, so what we're going to see today, we're gonna define what is artificial intelligence. We're going to answer another question, like how can we use AI in English as a foreign language and like teaching. We're going to try to understand how artificial intelligence works in language teaching, like the revolutionizing language instruction with AI, and ethical considerations and future implications. So I'm going to show you like things and ideas on how we can take advantage of this technology in our teaching practice and our classes. So the first thing that we need to go, it's on the definition of artificial intelligence. We have been talking about this topic a lot, but we haven't like stopped to give a definition or try to understand what it is. Yeah, so artificial intelligence is the use of computer systems to stimulate human mental processes such as interpreting and generating language. Long story short, try to make a machine act as a human. That's basically it. However, this idea of artificial intelligence is not new. We have like the boom of artificial intelligence because we have this tool that is ChatGPT that appeared last year at the very end of the year, and it was like the revolution at the very beginning of this year. But this has been here for a long time. If you know, or if you don't know, well, there was a person back in the 50s that started thinking on of this thing like machines and machines thinking as humans. So Alan Turing, in the Second World War, created a machine that helped decipher these like secret codes that the German were sending to each other. So he helped to end the Second World War with his machine. So this is an incredible like aspect in the history of artificial intelligence. In that time, well, as you have seen or read, the technology was not that advanced as we see today. But he was a genius, and he started thinking on what could happen if machines could think. And he wrote different documents on this topic. Well, maybe you have watched the movie. I recommend you a lot to watch the movie Enigma, if I'm not mistaken the name of the movie. You can find a lot of interesting things about the beginning of what we see today as artificial intelligence. Well, but what are the examples that we can take from artificial intelligence, which is not the ChatGPT as such? We have a lot of different things that are that has this technology. For example, the chatbots. Maybe when you go to like the EPS thing, there are some chatbots that help you have an appointment with the doctor, right? That is artificial intelligence. We have smart assistants like Siri, Alexa, Google. They are artificial intelligence. E-payments, search algorithms, media streaming, smart cars, navigation apps. Yeah, Waze has artificial intelligence included. Facial recognition, when you have these smartphones and you like activate the option to recognize your face, that is artificial intelligence. When you are sending emails that you are writing, and for example, Google help you complete the words, that is artificial intelligence. The applications, for example, for the social media, the filters that you have in Instagram, the filters that you have in TikTok, that is also artificial intelligence. So we are immersed in this technology for quite long, but we haven't been aware of this since the boom of ChatGPT. Yeah, so we have been interacting for a couple of years with these technologies. Okay, well, how can we use this amazing technology in EFL? So there are many exciting applications that we can use that are like language models in the English as a foreign language classroom. So we can take a look at this. So we can have something like this. You can have, or you can engage in conversational exchanges with LMS, with language models, to improve the speaking and listening skills. We can have vocabulary development. Language models can provide examples of vocabulary in context. Yeah, and they can offer even explanations and definitions. We can have writing practice. Language models can help students improve their writing skills by giving them writing prompts and feedback. And last but not least, we can have grammar instruction. Sometimes grammar can be very, very difficult for students. So you can use language models that can provide explanations, examples, grammar rules, and feedback on the correct use of grammar. You might think like, but how can we do this? Well, we need to understand that there are many options in which we can use the artificial intelligence. Of course, we can start with ChatGPT, yeah, and we can use it as a help, not the tool that is going to do the homework for the students, because many students are thinking on using ChatGPT to do their homework. But that's not the idea. That's not the point of using this amazing tool. Yeah, we are to We need to see beyond, because there are a lot of uses, practical uses and ethical uses of this technology. So we can have a look at ChatGPT, DALL-E, and ChatPDF. Those are the things that we are going to cover so far today. So let's start with ChatGPT. Well, with ChatGPT, you can engage in interactive conversations with students. You can provide language learning support to students. You can offer real-time feedback with this. And these can help to inspire creativity and critical thinking in the classroom. So we need to think first on what kind of assignments I am giving to my students so they can take advantage of the tool and they avoid these unethical behaviors of asking ChatGPT to do their homework, right? So the magic is in the prompting, yeah? A prompt, when we talk about artificial intelligence, is the natural language text that describes a task and the artificial intelligence should perform. So the magic is in prompting, right? So I'm going to show you 2 examples of prompts. So we can have something like this. Generate a list of 10 descriptive words to describe your favorite place. Include adjectives that express its atmosphere, appearance, and emotion it evokes. I'm giving the instruction, a very simple instruction here, which is generate a list of words. For example, in this case, I can ask my students to use those words to create sentences. Yes, so they bring the list to the classroom, and with that list, I can give extra activities. So it's not to ask ChatGPT to write the text, but to give or provide words in this case. Another example, construct a sentence using the present perfect tense to describe an experience you have had. Make sure to include a time reference and explain the impact of the experience on you. Actually, this last prompt is quite vague. We need to include more details, but this makes a lot of sense in this for this purpose. So I'm giving you here an instruction: construct a sentence, right? How? Using the present perfect. To do what? To describe an experience that you have had. You need to include a time reference and explain the impact of the experience on you. So I can use this prompt to ask students, okay, ask the chat to create a sentence, and then you can create similar sentences using the structure that the chat gave you, right? Well, I have here another prompt, but this is in Spanish. So I'm going to code switch. Si miramos el primer prompt, tenemos un prompt que es muy general. Escribe un texto para explicar el ciclo del agua. Un texto puede ser 3 párrafos, 4 párrafos, 2 párrafos, 1 párrafo, 2 líneas. ¿Cuánto? El ciclo del agua, bueno, afortunadamente solamente hay uno, pero tengo que decirle cómo quiero eso. Entonces, un prompt ideal sería como el que ustedes ven en pantalla. Escribe un texto para explicar el ciclo del agua a estudiantes de educación secundaria. Incluye definiciones sobre los procesos, y añade un párrafo final sobre la importancia del ciclo del agua en las actividades humanas. In this specific case, I'm asking as a teacher to create an explanation that is addressed for a specific audience, which is students in high school. I can change the tone. I can give it I want this text in a very academic language. I want you to include the definitions, and also I want you to include some questions. Create questions based on the text that you created. I mean, the sky is the limit in this prompting thing. I don't know if you have questions so far. Any comment? No questions? Okay, thank you, Laura.
Seems like we are okay and there are
Okay.
no hands raised or anything. So.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so we can keep on going here. So in this case, when we change, for example, to DALL-E, which is a generating machine of images, so you can ask students to interact with DALL-E, and this can help us, like, I don't know, like creativity, inspiration for storytelling, to write tests, to generate stories, okay? So English teachers can leverage the power of DALL-E, yeah? And this is also by the same company, which is OpenAI. So you can ask students to select a story theme and create a prompt that fits that story theme. Yeah, could be a fairy tale, a historical event, a famous literary work, or a creative narrative, right? You can ask students to compose descriptive text passages that depict the scenes, the characters, of objects of the story. So you can ask to create like the characters based on the prompts, or you can ask to create a landscape or something, and the students need to create something else by writing or recording or whatever. Yeah. It's really important that students train themselves into writing the prompts. As you notice here, you have a very simple prompt, which is escribe un texto para explicar el ciclo del agua. Is quite similar to like a question that you ask to Google. So if you ask this thing, it's like you could just click ciclo del agua in Google and you will find information. So you don't need to use ChatGPT, okay? It's exactly the same here. You need to train the students, or students need to train themselves in writing as descriptive prompts as possible. Well, DALL-E is not the only artificial intelligence application that they can use. There is one that is called Leonardo AI. I think it's that the name. Yeah, Leonardo AI. And it creates very interesting images as well. So this is a screenshot of the kind of pictures or images that a DALL-E can create. But this is just a picture that I took from like the internet, but there are hundreds of things that the students can create, okay? So for example, here you have another prompt that has to do with DALL-E. So in this case, we have generate an image depicting a mystical forest illuminated by a full moon with towering trees covered in vibrant bioluminescent flowers. The forest floor is blanketed with soft moss and a gentle stream meanders through the enchanting landscape. In the distance, a hidden path leads to a mysterious door carved into an ancient tree trunk. So if you notice here, this prompt has a very like high or advanced language. So you can ask students to create something like this. What is here? They're using the language, they're using vocabulary, they need to be super clear, and this can help them like think on how to structure the instruction. So we have for now like two tools, ChatGPT, and we have DALL-E, okay? You might think these are the booms, yes, but these are not the only resources of in artificial intelligence that we have. We have a lot of tools. I'm going to show you later on some other tools that you can have, that you can integrate as well. Well, there is another tool that I really like, which is ChatPDF. With Chat PDF, students and teachers can upload readings that are in PDF format, and you can interact with the file. What is the idea? To ask questions, but the questions need to be as clear as possible so the Chat PDF can give you the answer. So it's a document assistant for anyone looking for quick and accurate answers to their PDFs. We use a lot of readings, we use a lot of documents that are in this format, and we can ask very simple questions to advanced questions. So this can help, for example, students to study for quizzes, or just making them use the language to create questions, and good questions, of course. So if the question is not well structured, then the answer is not going to be the expected. So you need to check first what kind of questions you want to ask, and then you can get the answers that you need. So the cool thing with Chat PDF is that it allows them to ask questions, seek clarification, and receive immediate responses. These help into the interaction and participatory reading experience. It's not just reading because it's an assignment. You can have this reading as an interaction if they were talking with another person, right? Through Chat PDF, students can also actively explore the text by discussing key ideas, analyzing complex concepts, and seeking further explanations. This can promote deeper understanding and critical thinking skills. Yeah, when we have this kind of interaction, students can get into deeper reflections on the text that they are reading. And the cool thing is that they get real-time feedback. Yeah, they do not need to wait until a person can give the answer, but it's immediate. Yeah, this feedback helps students monitor their progress and identify areas of improvement. When you give students specific questions that they need to ask, that they need to answer, and when they just copy and paste these questions into this Chat PDF, they can find the information. But what if we change that task and we ask students to create their questions and interact with the chat? Yeah, so as I mentioned at the very beginning, the sky's the limit. You can have as many interactions as possible with this tool. So here are really, really cool things about the revolution of this artificial intelligence in the language instruction. So we can have conversational practice, we can have language production, we can have real-time feedback and support. We can have individualized learning, accessible language assistance, and continuous learning and progress tracking. You might think, yes, but this is going to take our jobs and this is going to do what we do. No, not necessarily. And this is something that you need to remember. We are the humans that are interacting with this technology, and we are the ones that decide up to what point I'm going to use this tool. And from that part, what is going to be my analysis, validation, and checking of that the things happening here are the ones that I need, okay? So the revolution here is that you can have interactive conversation, immediate feedback, personalized support, and this is something that in a regular classroom we don't have. Yes, the teacher cannot give every single time feedback to students because of time, because there are many, many students, because there are more activities to be carried on in the classroom. So this cannot be done in the class. That is going to be the huge revolution. Yeah, ChatGPT empowers learners to engage actively in their language learning journey. More than complete the sentence with the verbs, it can give more like meaningful learning. Yes, so we need to think of the ethical considerations and future implications. Yeah, so not everything with the artificial intelligence is perfect, okay? And we need to be responsible on the things that we ask this tool to do, okay? So first, having this talk with the students. We need to, well, like kind of open mind. I ask my students to use ChatGPT, but with an objective, with a purpose, and I'm not going to ask my students to write a simple text because this is something that the artificial intelligence can do. Instead of that, I ask the ChatGPT to give me structure of a text, examples of sentences, feedback on my writing, correction of spelling. Yes, so that is the thing. So I create the text and I use this tool as a help to improve, not to do the job for me, okay? So we need to explore best practices for data security and privacy in AI-driven tools, and highlighting the need for transparency and informed consent in data usage. As you may know, ChatGPT in this case, it's not, imagine a box, okay? And all the information, it's there packed. So this is a trained machine, yes, that has information and it's locked. We access ChatGPT through internet, but ChatGPT does not have access to internet to consult information. So we need to be very careful to the things that we ask to do, okay? It's important to learn how to interact with this tool because it's going to be here for quite a long time. We cannot think of prohibiting the use of this tool because the students are going to use it anyway. Yes, so more than banning the tool is educate students about the artificial intelligence ethics. Yeah, we need to promote critical thinking skills to evaluate the content that is generated from these tools, right? And we need to encourage the responsible use of artificial intelligence tools and avoid bias and discrimination. Exactly, Jennifer. That's completely true. Okay, so it's important here to know that artificial intelligence can have hallucinations. Yeah, what is an hallucination in ChatGPT, for example? It's a confident response that does not seem to be justified. Yeah, it looks perfect, it looks good, it sounds good, but it's not true. Yeah, there is a very interesting example of this. You can ask ChatGPT who King Renoir is. It's a completely made up name. Yeah, ChatGPT does not know who King Renoir is. But anyway, he's going to create an answer for that. Yeah, and it's going to give you answers, for example, like this. King Renoir was a French king who reigned from 1515 to 1544. This is something that it's made up. It's not true. So if we read this, and if we don't know about history, we might fall into believing that this is true. It is not. So we are the ones that validate that the information that is giving this artificial intelligence is the one that I need. Okay, I did another example. I have another example for this, and it's based on my institution. I ask this question. ¿Sabes qué es la Institución Universitaria Colombo Americana UNICA? And he started. Sí, la Institución Universitaria Colombo Americana UNICA es una institución de educación superior ubicada en la ciudad de Bogotá. Perfecto. Fue fundada en 1964. Ahí empezamos mal. This is not true. My institution, my university was founded in 2004. Okay. And it has only one program for the bachelor degree. It has one postgraduate, and everything is based on bilingual education. And in here, it's saying that it has communication, law, international business, and international affairs. I don't remember how to say that. Business administration, graphic design, and I don't know how many other things that this made up. Out of nowhere, okay? So it's important that students know that this happens, okay? More than asking to write an essay with references, because he can do it, of course. You need to verify that the information is true, yeah? Again, we are the humans that control, that validate, that evaluate how accurate the information is given, okay? So it's really important, as I mentioned at the very beginning, the prompt is the magic of the artificial intelligence. So we need to shape what we need from the artificial intelligence. So this is like the desired template that we can use to interact with these things. So act with the personality of expert. We have verbs, any action. We have the format and length. How do you want it? A text, a post, a paragraph, yeah? A paragraph of how many lines? Okay, what is the task? What is the objective? The response has to include something. The writing style is the tone of voice, formal, informal, academic, very, very formal, okay? And it is addressed to an audience. What kind of audience? Students, teachers, administrators, presidents. What is the audience that is going to be reading this part, okay? So here I have an example of that expected or prompt that we can have. This is like an example. You can think of yours. Act with the personality of an expert, the expert of like literary researcher. Write a text for a Facebook post. This text has to be about Animatic Company, that is an animation studio that uses artificial intelligence for the animations. The answer has to include reasons why working with us makes the job to be completed in less time. And the writing style is persuasive and informal, addressed to content creation companies. The more specific you can be, the better. Remember the parts of a prompt. You need roles, you need a task, you need an objective, you need an audience, you need like the style that you want, right? So this is important. This is really, really important. And this makes the difference, okay? So what are the recommended practices when you interact with artificial intelligence? First, we have to validation. We need to validate and complement information. We have like Google. If there is something here, it's mentioned an author in the ChatGPT answer, you go click Google or go to BART and validate that the resource there, it's the one that you need. And of course, if it is real. You need to refute arguments. You need to identify flaws. You need to complement information. So just remember, ChatGPT is an assistant. As an assistant, you need to check, you need to validate, okay? And you can use ChatGPT as part of a process. So you can give an input for the activities, you can have a role play, you can have exam preparation for, I don't know, like TOEFL or IELTS or any of these international exams. So the clue here, more than just making this chat to do my homework or to do something for me is to help me take advantage of the time that I am having right now. If you are, I do this a lot. I need to write a lot of emails to people that I don't know, and I get to like confuse myself and writing emails, formal emails for me is kind of difficult. So I ask ChatGPT, hey, you are blah, 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 blah. You need to write an email with this information, and it has to do this, this, and this. The ChatGPT gives me an answer, but I'm not going to copy and paste everything. I read the parts that I think it's the ones that I need, and then I create my email, right? In that time that I did this, I spent like 5 minutes, no more than that, or even less. When I have to do it without this tool, I need to think, oh, how can I write this? Oh my God, I have this problem. And how can I like write this in such a way that the other person can understand what I'm asking? Okay, so it's really important. I have heard that there are people using ChatGPT or other resources to prepare themselves for exams, for international exams. So you know that, for example, when you have TOEFL or IELTS, you need to write a text with a certain level of complexity. Yes, we tend to use the same vocabulary when we write, but we need to have a, I don't know, a C1 level in our writing. So I write my text and I ask the ChatGPT, hey, can you check this text? Can you give me recommendations to include advanced vocabulary or advanced structures so it can look like a C1 text, and it can help me. And I identify, oh, I see. This in this case, it changed this word for this one. It changed the structure. I was using simple present, and in the answer that the ChatGPT gave me was, I don't know, passive voice in the future. I'm just making this up. But the point is that you can use it as an assistant, as a help, more than the one that is doing the homework. Okay. Questions, comments up to this point? I would like to hear ideas,
I think that
questions.
I have not thought about that last part, and that seems really interesting. Like using ChatGPT to create texts to prepare for exams. I wouldn't think of that, but that sounds really as a really smart use of it.
It is, and it can help a lot. I know that the courses for preparation for these exams are expensive. 1 million pesos, if you're lucky, and you are going to be in this course for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's a lot of money, of course, but if you are not if you don't have that money to invest in that course, you can use this tool to help you in that. Maybe it cannot work for listening, but for writing and vocabulary, it can work really well. Actually, you can ask ChatGPT for create a reading in a TOEFL, I don't know, like if it was for the TOEFL exam, and create 5 questions I need to answer as if I were to present the TOEFL exam. It gives the text and it gives the questions. Yeah, it all depends on the instruction that you give. Let's change not for the exam, but for the grammar practice. It's not like complete the fill in the blanks, yeah. But you can ask ChatGPT to have a role. You say, hey, you are a student of a C1 English level at the university, and you want to help your partner to practice grammar. You are going to start a conversation about what you have done in your holidays. And the chat takes that role and start asking questions. You can have an extra instruction. After the conversation finishes, give feedback to your friend on what are the mistakes that this person is making. Yeah. So you see, I mean, the limit that we can have with this are like very, very high. But it's not just giving very simple instructions, but to take it, I mean, take advantage of the good things of the tool. Yes. Andres says, thanks for reminding me that this is a tool. It goes as far as we push. It may also have not 100% accurate info, so it's always good to double check the answers of ChatGPT. Of course. Completely agree with you, Andres. It is very important to validate. We cannot keep the answers that the tool gives us just like if they were written on stone. Of course not. Remember, we are the humans. I always say this. We are the humans that validate. We are the humans that have control on the tool. I don't know if you have watched Iron Man, the first movies of Iron Man. If you are a fan like me, you remember Jarvis, that is the artificial intelligence tool that Iron Man uses to help him create this amazing armor that he uses to fight the bad guys, right? He uses this as a tool, and he is the one that is giving the instructions, not the way around. So I remember one scene that he says, hey, scan this model. Okay, now take out the trees, take out these buildings, now create this, now create the other, now give me this information as blah, 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 blah. And he is the one giving the instructions. And the result is amazing. He creates the new element that helps him to live longer because he has this problem with this heart accident. So if this is the ideal that we could go with the use of a ChatGPT and the other artificial intelligence that we have right now. Yes. Okay. So the sky is the limit. So we need to remember the problems that artificial intelligence can pose to education. Lack of personalization, yes. Although the artificial intelligence tools are constantly evolving, they lack of human emotions, right? That are sometimes necessary for effective teaching and learning. It's also important to have interaction with the human, of course, with the teacher, with the partners, with the classmates, with other people. There is bias and discrimination. Yes, if the artificial intelligence is used to, is trained, more than used, is trained with information that is biased or that has a discriminating vocabulary, the answers that it's going to give, it's going to be biased, okay? So the more objective and neutral you can be, the better. If you give an instruction, for example, like create a poster where you do not allow, I'm going to say this, Black people to blah, 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 okay? This is training the artificial intelligence into this kind of language, and the answers are going to be the same. Okay, so bias can occur in artificial intelligence systems because of the data used to train them. So the algorithms may reflect societal biases, prejudices, and stereotypes. Okay, dependence on technology. Both the students and teachers may become too dependent on technology, hindering their ability to think critically or solve problems. You can have activities where technology is not involved. That is also important, right? You can have activities in which students they have to think They have to produce in class. And when they get to use technology, it's for correction, it's for feedback, it's for maybe generating ideas, but based on the information that they receive from the artificial intelligence is the thing that they are going to use to create new things. So to that point, we need to take this technology use. And the last one, data privacy and security. The artificial intelligence powered tools in general often collect vast amounts of personal data, which might pose a threat to students' privacy and security. This is also important. If you start giving information about yourself, for example, your phone number, your ID number, your, I don't know, your likes, your dislikes, there are hundreds of things that we can give as information to the artificial intelligence that we do not realize, and then it can be, I don't know how, but it can be used against you. Many companies are prohibiting this tool because of that, because there is very delicate information that cannot be rounding somewhere in artificial intelligence. Okay, so wait a second, because I need here. So here I have something that you can take for you is as interaction for the ChatGPT and the artificial intelligence. So you can think of different ways on to create or to interact with artificial intelligence. So you can have writing styles: formal, persuasive, descriptive, narrative, informal, emotive, kind, technical, ironical. You can have it at all. You can have, for example, predictions, feedback, scenarios, instructions, explanations, opinions. You can have different structures into the commands or the prompts that you give. A role, a task, a format, or a context, task, and format. Context, role, task, tone. Example, role, task, and format. You can have a complete mix of things and you will have something very interesting, okay? We can have or we can integrate Chrome extensions for the things that we do regularly. We have TweetGPT, YouTube Summary, ChatGPT Writer, Fireflies, Wise1, Engage AI. There are many things here. And you can have all these techniques to interact with the artificial intelligence: role playing, a format, actions, examples. Okay, so it's a matter of learning and interacting with the tool in a very conscious way. It's not just, okay, do my literature review for my thesis. No. Instead of that, okay, act as an expert on education and evaluate this paragraph and give me feedback. Okay, that is a good example of interaction that you can have. Okay, what are the important takeaways that we can have to address the challenges and the implications of using artificial intelligence? It is important to discuss the importance of fair and unbiased evaluation methods, right? You need to encourage your students and yourselves to complement artificial intelligence generated feedback with professional expertise, okay? Although the artificial intelligence can give you a lot of help, can be a very important assistant, you need to check, you need to verify with other person, other human being that you have, the information that you have is good, okay? Artificial intelligence is a tool. that can be used with different purposes. It is important to learn how to. Again, artificial intelligence is a tool. We are the humans. We are the ones that give or validate that. And do not believe everything that artificial intelligence produces. Yeah. It might look good. It might be true, but we don't know. It's very, very important. It's also mandatory as responsible human beings using this technology to validate. How can we validate that? With, for example, Perplexity. Perplexity is a very interesting tool that it's connected to internet. Yeah, it's an answer engine that aims to deliver accurate answers to questions using large amounts of language models. Yeah, it is designed to search the web in real time to provide up-to-date information on various topics. So I did something very interesting, which is have something in like created by ChatGPT, and then I changed or I like copied somehow some things from ChatGPT and I placed it in Perplexity. And then I ask an extra like a task to perform with information based on the information that that it was generated on ChatGPT. And then with Perplexity, just click there, and the result was a really, really nice. Okay, I'm complementing. ChatGPT with Perplexity. Both are artificial intelligence tools, but they are different. Okay, there is another one that it's Bard. And someone in the chat mentioned this a little bit ago. Part of Google, it's as Perplexity connected to the internet. And there is something very interesting here. When you interact with Bard, you can give the instruction, you can give the prompt, and then you can click, there is a button that says, check on Google. Yeah, and it gives you or provides you with sources from the internet that can help you validate the information that is generated there. The future is today. I don't know if you have seen, but Microsoft, it's going to launch very soon, if not like he or she they already did, these tools for PowerPoint, tools for Excel or Word that are based on artificial intelligence, and it's Microsoft Copilot. You can Google videos on this artificial intelligence. It is really, really nice. It can help you create PowerPoint presentation. It can help you create Excels. I don't know if you are very experts on creating Excel sheets. If you are lucky. If you're not, this can help you a lot. So, there are hundreds of things going on with artificial intelligence today that ChatGPT is not the only one. Yeah, it might be the boom because many people are using it, but that is not the only one. We are like immersed in this technology for quite long, but now we are aware of its existence. We are aware that it's like there. It's in our cell phones. It's in the computer. I already installed ChatGPT app in my cell phone, and it helps me a lot in many different tasks. Okay. Oh my God. So we can think of these ideas to help the students use artificial intelligence tools. So first, introduce artificial intelligence tools. That's the most important. Yeah. Adopt these tools. And when I say adopt, is to integrate them in a very responsible way. Yeah. It's important to tell students that these can help them in their language learning. More than translation, yeah, translate this text. No, more than translation, you can have feedback on grammar, helping on developing vocabulary, helping to create a very structured text, yeah? You can have also, for example, writing tools. I don't know if you use Grammarly, I think. Grammarly is another artificial intelligence tool for writing. It's very interesting, and it's an extension that you can install in the computer. So whenever they are writing, this tool like corrects the mistakes. It can provide support, teach students these tools, and offer tips on like step-by-step instructions to use them more efficiently, monitor their work, and give feedback. Assigned a task where students have to use ChatGPT, but not writing the text, but hey, if you're going to write a text, ask ChatGPT to generate a structure of an outline of an essay that is going to be, I don't know, a supporting or descriptive essay. Yeah, that is different from asking just to write a text. You need to encourage critical thinking. It's very, very important to like encourage this skill. Yeah, it encourages students to question the accuracy and fairness of the artificial intelligence powered writing tools or translation apps and focus on the context. As we mentioned here, we do not believe what ChatGPT says. So we need to tell students, hey, do not believe what ChatGPT says. Go and check that the information it's giving there, it's true. With Google, with Perplexity, with BART, with another teacher, with another student. I hear someone has a question, maybe? No? Okay. And the last one, keep up to date. Teachers need to have their fingers on their pulse and identify new tools and resources that can benefit their students. Students are the ones that are giving us and showing us how to use the things, okay? I don't know how to use TikTok, okay? That I just don't want to. But they know how to use these social media things. They're the experts. We need to encourage to be good and experts on using different tools that are like showing up every day. So what we talk about artificial intelligence today, maybe tomorrow, it's going to be a different. So we need to read, we need to watch videos, we need to check, we need to ask students also what they are seeing that it has to do with artificial intelligence, because they are one step beyond our steps. Oh my God. And I think this is it. I wanted to make it very like short and worthy and meaningful for you all. I don't know if you have questions or ideas on this.
Okay. If someone has a question, you have to raise your hand.
They
Seems they
fainted.
don't.
Too much artificial intelligence for today.
Katie, thank you very much. Thank you to UNICA too for the time, and it's a pleasure to have you here. You're already home here. That's nice.
Yes. I want to go again to Luis Amigo.
Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That was very enlightening, and I think the reflection that we can generate over that is worth taking the time now, because it's a challenge that we all have to face, and it's very important that we professionally and critically take a look at what's going on with the artificial intelligence.
Yes, and as I said, this is going to stay here. We cannot like lag behind, because this is going to eat every single thing that we do. Like we think this is like important. With artificial intelligence might be changing. Jennifer, thanks for the information. It's really useful to discuss it and approach it as something positive and a tool that could be really useful in class and for all. Yes, yes, that's the point. That was the idea.
Okay, so I think we finished this meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining our meeting. And I hope everybody has lots of ideas on the topic now.
Okay, yes, I will be attentive if you have any question or if you want further information on this topic, I will be very willing to share what I have with you. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Luis Amigo, for inviting me. And thank you all for being here this little time with me and sharing what I have been doing this little time about
Thank
the
you
topic.
very much.
So thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.